Good evening. In today's discussion, in the today's session, we will try to discuss about SCD1 implementation without identity column on destination. So here it doesn't have any identity column on the destination table. Like for example, I am having a table called as dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. Something like this. Same table, but whereas in the destination it is. So we will try to open the help for that. sp underscore help dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. So here it doesn't have any identity column, no identity column defined. Here E key we are making as a primary key field, primary key. Here it is specifying that. So here we are defining E key as a primary key and it is not an identity. So the automatic generation of the value for E key column will not be available. We should define our own logic to generate this E key. So strictly speaking, it is a surrogate key. So the surrogate key field we are not defining as an identity column. So we should generate that column. So what is the logic you should use to generate this column now, to generate this column value? In your control flow, there is a task called as an execute SQL task. We will try to use this. So we will try to use one object or one task called as an execute SQL task. We will use this. What is use of it? It is used to execute the specified. It used to execute the specified SQL statement. It used to execute the specified SQL statement at the database. Now I will use this particular task. For what purpose? Means to identify what is the latest surrogate key present at the destination table. To know about that, I will use this task. Within this, I will write a select statement to find out the maximum surrogate key or E key column value present in the destination. Once if I came to know that, then I will increment that number with the help of script component. So I will use execute SQL task to track the existing maximum value and then I will increment it with the help of script component. Then I will give this as a new surrogate key number while inserting a record. So we will try to implement in this process. So first of all, I will create one variable. I will try to create one variable with the name called as previous ID. We will try to create one variable with the name called as in previous ID, by default with a value called as 0. After that, with the help of execute SQL task, we will try to identify the maximum key from the database table, from the destination table. track the maximum key field value and assign it to the variable. So, to which variable? Previous ID. So, get that value from execute SQL task and assign it to here. If you are already having some records, maybe rank 3 or a 4 or a 10 or something, get that value. Once that value is achieved, the next thing is, in your Dataflow task, with help of script component, increment this value. In script component, increment variable value, that is receive variable value into programming, increment it, and return that value as new ID or new key. So, we will try to implement this logic, and remaining things is just like in our normal SCD1 process we will implement. So, SCD1 means maintaining only current data. So, already we are familiar with that with the previous sessions. So, only extra thing is we are trying to generate the key, because the column we are not taking as an identity column. So, same source I am using, that is src underscore emp1. What are the fields you are having means? ENO, ename, designation. When it comes to the destination, is dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. Here I am implementing primary key only primary key option on my key field, not identity. So, here we are having key. This is defined as a primary key without identity. And then I am trying to take ename and the designation. But you should have an employee number also. So, we will try to take even that field, employee number. So, what is the structure? How do you implement this process? Means we are having control flow under the package. Under this control flow, I will create a variable. I will create a variable on the name called as an previous ID with the default value zero. After that, I am trying to take something called as an execute SQL task. Execute SQL task I am trying to define. It is on one object, and we will try to do some activity under this. After that, I will try to take a Dataflow task. Dataflow task. Under the data flow task, we will try to implement certain things. What are those means? We are trying to take OLEDB source for the table src underscore emp1, and we will try to check record is available or not. So, we will try to use lookup for the table dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. And if you came to know that a record is not available, then I'll use a script component to increment the surrogate key. After that, we'll try to insert the record by using OLEDB destination. If you came to know that record is already available, then we'll try to have a conditional split. After that, OLEDB command. OLEDB command for the table called as dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. For what purpose? It is for updation. It is for update. And this is for insertion. Insert into which table? Dim underscore emp1 underscore pk table. So, OLEDB source, a lookup, a script component, OLEDB destinations. And this entire thing is present in a data flow task. We will try to link the objects first of all. OLEDB source is communicating to the lookup, and from the lookup we are going to the script component as well as to the conditional split. And this entire thing is present in a data flow task. It is a data flow task. Now your execute SQL task is connected to this data flow task. And this entire thing is present in a control flow. So we are declaring a variable with a default value 0, and that value will try to pass it to execute SQL task. And what is the value you are finding from the destination table, that value will try to update into the variable, and the same variable will try to take into script component for incrementing the value, and you will give it to the destination. We will try to do it on the data tools. So we will try to create a new package, new SSIS package. We will rename this SCD1 without identity column. So first of all, what is the value present in my database I want to know, and I want to put that value into a variable. So I'll create a variable first of all. So I'll go to the SSIS menu, variables, add new variable. I'm giving the name as previous ID. Data type is int32, default value is 0. Next, drag the execute SQL task, double click on this execute SQL task and specify what you are trying to execute through this. So I'm going to the connection property, new connection. I want to work on the destination table to track the maximum E key present in the destination table. So choose the destination connection. Okay. And I want to write some SQL statement. What is that SQL statement means? Something like this. Select. If I say star from dim underscore emp1 underscore pk, it gives me all the records. If you're having some data means, but I don't want to pick up anything, I want to pick up only the E key. So I'll say select E key. If I execute, I'll get the two values, but I want to know only the maximum value. So I'll say max of E key. Now it is showing me as 2, but there is no column header for that. So for that purpose, I'll say as previous ID, some name I'm giving here. Execute. It's showing previous ID, maximum value what you're having is 2. Fine, it is executed successful and you're able to get the value. But for example, your table doesn't have any data, then what happens? Like for example, if you say truncate table or delete dim underscore emp1 underscore pk, if you execute this, after this, if you execute this select statement, like here I'll write two select statements. Select star from dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. Now first of all, the table doesn't have any data, then what is the maximum value means it's showing me null. I cannot perform any calculations on the null value. So what I'll do, if you are getting a null means I'll replace that with some default value called as a 0. How do you do this? I'll say is null. If it is a null, I'll replace with 0. Now execute this statement. You got as a 0. So if already some data is there means it gives some values. Like for example, already your table is having some data. Like for example, I'll by default, just to check this query, I'm adding some data. Insert into dim underscore emp1 underscore pk values of 1 comma some name abc and some designation something like this. Does not match with the table definition. We are having E key, ENO, so I need to give employee number also. So I'll execute this same statement once again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here comma is required. Execute this. One row is affected. Now if you check this select statement, there is already one record is there. What is the maximum E key means it's showing 1. But if you remove the data, in such case, table doesn't have any data, so we are getting previous ID as 0 because we are replacing null with 0. So I'll use this select statement. So select is null max of e key comma 0 as previous id from dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. So that statement I'm writing under this. Click on OK. But what is the value it is getting? Max of e key means it is a single column value. So specify the result set property as single row. So totally here how many things you have done in 3 steps. First thing we gave the connection, destination connection you have provided. Then we wrote some select statement. Select is null of max of e key comma 0 as previous id from table name. After that we are saying that result set is single row. Fine, you brought the data, but this value I want to put into the variable what you have already created. So how do you do this step? Means select result set option on the left side, click on add button. So here select your variable. So already it's showing it, but if you rank more than one variable you need to select it explicitly. After that result set name give as 0, 0th argument. Specify the result set name as 0, 0th argument. Then click on OK. So fine, the execute SQL task is able to brought existing maximum value of e key. Now we'll pass this one to your Dataflow task, and whenever it is required we'll use that. So drag the Dataflow task, link execute SQL task to Dataflow task, double click on Dataflow task, then add the source object, OBIEE source, double click on this, choose the source connection, table is src underscore emp1, columns I need employee number, employee name, designation, okay. And whatever the record you are getting, we need to search whether record is available or not. So we'll place a lookup transformation, link OBIEE source to lookup, double click on the lookup, full cache, OBIEE connection manager, redirect rows to no match output because we want to use even those rows, connection. Where you want to search in the destination, what is the table? Dim underscore emp1 underscore pk, and select the columns and provide the condition employee number to employee number. If the record is existing, I want to know what is the key of that employee and what is the designation. To understand that these two values are getting from lookup, I will change my output names like e key underscore lkp, designation underscore lkp. Fine. Now if you came to know that record is already existing, then you have to check the record is same or not. So take the conditional split, link your lookup to conditional split, that is match records, lookup match output, okay. Double click on conditional split and define the case by saying designation belonging what you got from lookup should not be equal to the designation what you got from source. If they are different, we want to update the record. So take the OBIEE command, link conditional split to OBIEE command, that is case 1, okay. Double click on this, connection is destination, component properties, write update statement here, SQL command property, update dim underscore emp1 underscore pk set designation is equal to question mark where e key is equal to question mark. We are having two parameters here, designation and e key. So the designation means what you are getting from source, E key value is what you got from the lookup. So click on OK and associate those values. Means select the column mappings tab, specify what is param 0 and param 1. So param 0 is nothing but a designation what you got from source, link that. And param 1 is nothing but E key what you got from the lookup, just link that particular field. Then click on OK. So if record is already existing and if there is a change in the designation, we are updating record. But for example, if record is not there, then what we need to do? We need to generate the E key first of all, because it is not an identity. So we should generate that number. So how do you do this? Drag the script component into the loop. Dataflow task. Choose as a transformation. Click on OK. Link your lookup no match output to script component. Double click on script component. Now go to the inputs and outputs, because it should return a value. Choose as an output 0, expand it. Expand output columns. Click on add column, and here I will say new ID. So generated ID, we are trying to give the new ID as an output. What is the data type? You specify the data type as per your requirement. Maybe numeric, maybe as an integer, depending on your requirement. For example, I am saying as a numeric. After that, come back to the script node on the left side. And what is the variable you have created? And it is consisting the maximum E key which is right now present in the destination table. So that value should pass it to your script for incrementation purpose. So here if you observe under the script node, there is a property called as read only variables. Click on ellipse button and select the variable just now what we have created, previous ID. Place the check mark for that. Click on OK. And script language I am choosing as an C#. Click on edit script and write the logic. So what is the existing maximum E key is there? Bring that into your program first of all, then increment it. So click on this edit script button. So it will try to open the Visual Studio. Once the Visual Studio is opened, within that you try to design your program. So I am trying to create one local variable, a programming level variable, by saying int counter is equal to 0. But first of all, I want to know what is the value present in my variable, and that value I will bring into this counter. So this pre-execute method will execute only one time. So whenever you start your execution, when the control came for first time to the script component, only at that time it will execute. So only one time it will captures the variable value into this location. So I am saying counter is equal to variables dot previous ID. This is the variable what we have created previously under the control flow. So that variable value I am capturing into this counter variable. Once I got this, then I will go to the input process. This method will execute for every row. So I will say counter is equal to counter plus 1, and this value I want to return it for every record. So I will say row dot. So we created one output column called as what? New ID. So I will take that particular field and I will assign counter value. So row dot new ID is equal to counter. What we have generated the new number, that value I am assigning it. File menu, save all, build menu, build, file, exit, click on OK. Save this And once the number is generated, next thing is we should insert it. So drag OLEDB destination, link this script component to OLEDB destination, double click on this destination connection, tabular view, and table is dim underscore emp1 underscore pk. Mappings, here envo ename designation is mapped, but e key is not there. So this is the value what you got from script component, you should map it, that is new id. Click on OK, save this and execute it. So right now my source, I'll make my source to be empty and I'll add the new records. Use source truncate table src underscore emp1 and I'll add one new record. Insert into src underscore emp1 values of 101. Name is for example Ravi, and the location is Delhi, and here we are having only designation, so I'll say junior developer. So 3 fields in the source table. ENO ename designation, so those 3 values are specified here. And we'll try to execute this. So at the source I am having one record, but destination is empty. So that record should be inserted into the destination by generating the e key. Now e key is not an identity we are generating through our program. Execute the package. Start. Execution is done. Here if observe, source gave one record to look up that came as no match output. From there it came to script component, from script component to OLEDB destination, and if you observe the output, the record is inserted by saying that e key is equal to 1. At my source level I am adding second record. For example 102, name is Kiran and the designation is for example junior tester, as well as I'll make some change in the existing record. src underscore emp1 values set designation is equal to senior developer, where ENO is equal to 101. So in the source there are 2 records are there, whereas in the destination only 1 record. So 101 Ravi record is designation is changed. So as you are saying it is an SCD1, so junior developer value should be updated with senior developer value, and the second record should be inserted by generating the e key as 2. So we'll execute our package. Start. Execution is done. Here 2 rows you got from OLEDB source. 1 row is went for no match output, 1 row went for matched output. And because of matched output it is went for OLEDB command, and row is updated, as well as 1 record passed to script component and through to OLEDB destination. So record is inserted. Check in the database. 101 record designation is changed, 102 record is inserted, and the surrogate key is generated. Here, even though we are not having any identity column in the table, still we are able to generate the surrogate key and we are able to insert into the destination table. So how you are generating means with the help of script component, but how do you know that what is the old value means? With the help of execute SQL task, we are capturing that value and with the help of that we are able to increment it. So if you are working with a table which is an identity, straight away you can go with your wizard. But if your table doesn't have an identity column, then wizard is not suitable. You need to design the logic in this way. We have implemented only for the designation, but you should consider each and every field to apply this set of logics. So this is what SCD implementation without you having identity column. Thank you.